So I guess you could say this is a bit of a part two. I didn't plan on doing this video, but after a while I thought about what to do with those Costco rubber tiles, and I have a gazebo on the lower part of our property, and I thought this area here might be nice for that because it's covered. It's one of those Costco gazebos, but I bought it off Craigslist a couple years ago. I think it's 16 feet by 12. And the slab here is 10 by 20, I think. So this didn't fit perfect on there, but I ended up just bolting it on. And it'll look nice again after I spray the netting and stuff like that, because this is just spring and still a little bit of moss, stuff like that. Anyway, I'm gonna take those Costco tiles and I'm gonna put them in here and try to do the best that I can to make the flooring in here. And then I have a Kubota utility vehicle that I think weighs about 1,500 pounds, and I'm gonna drive it in over the top just to give a idea for those out there that might want to use it for their garage, if you can drive a smaller vehicle on top of it, but then also give another option of how to use those tiles if your deck is too exposed like mine was and it was getting too hot. It might be good under a covered section, so that might work out here. Anyway, I'll get to work on laying those tiles down and then show the final product. So far so good. It's not perfectly level here because I had to build out a little bit with some paver stones like these, so it slopes just a hair, which is fine. Water runoff will be good. It looks like it's 24 feet long because I've done 12 rows of 10, and it looks like it's about exactly halfway. When I ripped the ones up from upstairs on the deck up there, I just pulled them up like carpet, and then they just kind of pulled apart. So I would say that maybe a half of them to a third had a broken tab somewhere on them, and each of them has 3 tabs on 2 sides. So if you look at these, 3 tabs, and then 2 receivers on the other 2 ends. And even with one of those broken, it actually made them fit in place a little bit better because of the angles, but it still seems really solid. So they do seem a little weather worn. You know, it's been 5 or 6 years. I can't remember exactly when I bought them. Just like a tire, the rubber gets a little bit flimsy, a little bit weaker due to weathering. Although you have to imagine that this was pretty much the most sun exposure that you could possibly get in Washington, Western Washington. And I know that's kind of funny thinking of how much it rains here, but it was getting direct sunlight during the summer, and then all of the rain obviously during the winter directly. And so it really withstood as much of the elements as possible. So given 5 years and the condition they still feel to be in, it seems to be good. The reinstall of this seems pretty good. And again, the rip up I was pretty ruthless ripping them up. I really didn't take a lot of care. So these have maintained a pretty durable standard, I'd say. I'll finish this up, then I'll drive the Kubota on here to just give it a traction test. But when you look at the bottom of them, you probably realize that they're gonna hit flush with the ground anyway, just like a regular garage tile. So I can't imagine these at this point not at least being able to handle a 1,500 pound UTV or a small car. So we'll find out later, but it's going well. Well, here it is. About an hour and a half, maybe an hour 45 solid. Everything holds together pretty well. I might drive over it in a second, but I just wanted to kind of give a look. I have kind of a 2 gazebo combo here. They kind of clash a little bit. You got the black one here, and then one that's kind of a brown one. That's the hexagonal swing one. And I may do a video kind of on this. It's obviously an idea I stole offline. The swing idea was a separate idea that I found, but I'll get this cleaned up one of these days, get that covered probably with some tile, and maybe those little standing stones there. But yeah, let's drive over it, let's check it out, and then kind of put a finish to this. Stamp of approval to drive on it, hopefully. So we'll check it out.